This is our mechanical room. So what we're first going to start with is our HRV system. The HRV system carries water and carries air through the whole house and circulates it all through. That's also tied into the cold air and fresh air, which is outside. So we're mixing cold air with the warm air that comes back from the house, returning back through. We're mixing that together in this HRV system, which is heat recovery ventilation. And it'll blend that and come back into the furnace, so it has to get reheated up to go back into the house. So the efficiency factor is we're taking air that's from the outside, which 7 months a year is going to be a negative number, and we're trying to build that into the house. We're taking the effort and ease off the heating system so that we're warming up the air that's probably blended with an interior plus 20 to a minus 20. It's down to maybe 3 degrees, 5 degrees as it blends and mixes back through, and it only has to heat up that much to get it to the 24 or 26 degrees that you're putting back into the house. So blending that air is a great use of saving energy because we don't have to hit it up from a cold start. Imagine trying to boil a pot of water. It's already lukewarm. It's going to take less effort and less time than it would if it was ice cold out of the freezer. So that's one of the efficiencies of that too, circulating air through and filtering it as well too. To service the HRV system, you unlatch it from the bottom, lift open the lid. As with any appliance, when you're servicing it, you always make sure that you remove the door because you can't be servicing something, holding the door, and trying to pull out a filter and clean it and look at the same time. So inside we have 2 pre-filters, one from the cold air side, and it's quite obvious to tell it's cold air because you put your hand here and feel that that's pretty cold air. This is the return air back from the house. Okay? So if we have a lot of dirt and dust here, that's coming from the outside. So that means we have dust and dirt outside, which we're going to have in a construction area because of all the dirt. Everything isn't landscaped and so on and so forth. So that's going to have that kind of debris on it. On the pre-filter for the inside, what we'll find there is we're going to find lint, dog hair, anything that's from the inside recycling back through. So again, it purifies the air. As it's mixing the air, it's going to make sure it's clean. Again, that really helps. The last thing we want is dirty air going through the furnace and trying to heat that up as well too.
Right.
So it saves on the filtering here as well too. So the rule of thumb for this is every 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to pull these filters out, shake them, maybe vacuum them, run them out of a shower, a hose, and shake them off, let them sort of dry, and then push them back in. So that's a 60 week to 8 week on these pre or post filters. Once a year, we're going to pull out the whole box. What we're going to do, it's just segregations of plastic here. We pull the filters off, and we're going to stick this in warm water. And I usually like to rinse it out on the deck, so I'm usually choosing a warm summer month to do it, July or June, and then we let it sit outside and dry. This one has to be perfectly dry when you put it back in.
Yeah.
The pre and post don't have to be necessarily totally dry, so it's important to do that. So I choose to do that once a year, which is normally summertime, because that has to be completely dry when you put that back in. So we can hose it down, we can stick it in a pail, we can just give it some soap and water, rinse it, and let it sit on the deck on the south side and dry it by itself. Okay.